Good day, good day, good day. Welcome back to class. In this lesson, we are going to talk about HTML iframes and HTML head element. HTML head element. We have tackled tables recently, and it is important for us to also know what iframes are and how to use them as web developers, in fact professional web developers. Also, we'll be tackling the head element in depth for us to know what it entails, what it contains, and the functions of its constituents. That's the main aim or objective of this lesson and video. I pray thee, if you don't understand anything, do well to comment below. Or if you want any video to be made on a specific part of website designing, comment below so that we'll do it for you. Okay, without wasting my time, we have created a file and we have named it iframes.htm. Okay, iframes.htm. iframes.htm. That's fine. Okay, now we are starting with the head element. We will deal in depth today and know what the head element contains and how to use it appropriately as website design professionals. Okay, so let's take this and I will explain it bit by bit so that you understand and understand it all. I'm doing my best. I hope you do your best too. Okay, so the Doctype is something that we have talked about already. I don't want to go there. So doc is from the word document and type is the normal type thing that we know. Okay, so this specifies the type of this file that we have created. Okay, so Doctype is just to specify the type of file we are dealing with currently, and the file we are dealing with currently is what? HTML. Okay, HTML. Just after that you have the HTML element or tag, then it has the attribute lang. This defines the language of an element, the language that non-editable elements are in, or the language that editable element should be written in by the user. Okay, so we can just use this for, let's say, the input element to specify the type of language we want an input to be from the user. Don't worry, when we start with forms, you know what the input element is, so you don't worry, but I'm just using it to explain it. Okay, so the lang here specifies what language. It's from the word language and it defines the language of what? An element. In this case, because we are using it on the HTML element, it defines the element, the language of the entire document or the entire page. So we are saying that the language of the entire page should be in what? English. The EN here is for English. Okay, so lang is for language, EN for English. If you want French and other stuff, you'll get it later on, but not here in this video. If you really want to know, see me down in the comment below, tell me, and I'll make a special video just on the languages attribute alone and help you to know how to know the abbreviations or whatever I call it, or the acronyms, whichever name seems appropriate for you per language. You let me know, then a video on that will be made for you. Now, just after the HTML element, you have the almighty head element. So this is the opening tag of the head element, and this is the closing tag of the head element. Okay, it is very, very important to include the head element in all web files that you create or document that you create purposely for the web. Okay, so please again, let's take note. Now the head element serves as what? A container. Why are we saying that? You could see that just after the head element we have other elements in here. Example is the meta element and also the title element we are saying here. What are these elements for? You see that the head element has served as a container, and because it has served as a container, you could see it's on a different line compared to the other element mentioned previously. That's the meta element and the title element. Okay, now what is this meta element? What is this cassette we are seeing? What is this HTTP equip and the content stuff that we are seeing? Don't worry, it is the reason for this video. I will take my time, explain everything vividly to your understanding so that you know how to use it and how to use it well. Okay, that one being said, let's continue. Let's take it a bit further. So we are saying that the head element is what? A container for other elements. For instance, the meta element, the title element, the script element, the style element, the base element, and a whole lot. So as we progress with our website designing and we progress in knowledge, we will get to know the other elements as well. Okay, but in this video, I'm going to talk about the meta element, I'm going to talk about the title element, the script element, the style element, maybe the base element, if that is very necessary. Maybe it might be your first time hearing of the base element, and for that reason I'm gonna do that for you. Okay, that's great. So the head element comes just after the opening tag of the HTML element and just after the opening tag of the body element. Okay, sorry, the opening tag of the body element. Okay, so we could see, as I said earlier on, is the opening tag of the head element and the closing tag of the head element. So one thing you should note that the head element is not an empty element because it has both an opening tag, a content, and what? A closing tag. So it is not an empty element. It is not an empty element. Okay. Now after the head, the opening tag of the head element, we could see meta. What is this meta that we are talking of? Let me put it on here, then you get it. So the meta element represents various kinds of metadata that cannot be expressed using the title, the base, the link, okay, the style, and the script elements. Okay, so any other information, metadata, we call it metadata to be specific here. Okay, metadata. You want to know what metadata is? Don't worry. Metadata is just data about data. Why are we saying data about data? Can we have data about data? Oh yes, we can have data about a data. Whatever we are writing here is a data. Okay, unless this thing is previewed or reviewed or presented or displayed or in a web browser, it remains a data. So whatever we write here about this that we are coming to write, for instance, this is a previous file that we created earlier on. These are all what? Data. Okay, these are all what? Data. So everything about the data that we will be writing is what we call the metadata. Okay, and we use the meta element to display metadata about our current file that we are writing. Okay, so I wanted, yes, the meta element, one thing you have to know, is an empty element. It has just an opening tag, a few attributes, no content, and no closing tag. So the meta element, you should note, is what? An empty element. The meta element is what? An empty element. That's fine. Now that one being said, let us move a bit further. Okay, so we'll move on. Then you see cassette. Let's go here. It said this attribute. You know that the meta here is what? An element. Anything that comes after the element in the element opening tag is what? An attribute. So the cassette we are seeing here is what? An attribute. So we say this attribute declares the page's character encoding. It must contain a standard, let me put it on again, a standard IANAMIM. This an organization that specifies the languages of character encoding that is used on the website. Okay, although the standard doesn't request a specific encoding, it suggests authors are encouraged to use UTF 8. So these are a set of characters that you would be allowed to use on your web page. So the UTF-8 contains almost all characters you can think of from all languages possible. So it is always recommended that web designers or developers always use the UTF-8. You note we have the UTF. It can be in small letters or it can be in caps lock, as we are saying here. Others should not use the ASCII incompatible encodings to avoid security risks. Browsers not supporting them may interpret harmful content as HTML. This happens with some of the character encoding are listed here. Okay, so these are what we call the ASCII incompatible encodings, and we don't recommend the use. So always make sure that you have your meta element and your car set, and the car set is always set to UTF then dash and 8. So UTF-8, as I said, is character encoding, and what we mean by character encoding is a set of characters that you are allowed to use on the web page currently set on. Okay, so I said earlier on that the UTF contains all characters possible you can think of from all sorts of languages in this world. Any character at all. Is it Ghana cedi? What is it? Is it $1? What is it? Whatever character, you can get it from the UTF-8. So it is recommended that you always set your car set to UTF-8. In other cases where you think it's not appropriate, you may choose otherwise. Then after that, because it is what? An empty element, we close it. If you want to specify another attribute, then we'll have to open another what? Meta element. Okay, and that's what we are saying here. Another meta element. So the second meta element talks about what? This guy. What does it mean? Defines a pragma directive. The attribute is named HTTP equip or allen because all the allowed values are names of particular HTTP headers. And you get to know HTTP headers later on. They are very in-depth topic, and it will take a whole lot of time to explain this to your understanding. Okay, then we move on. Content, and we have what? The language over here. So if you let me put it on here again, and we're gonna get very useful information. So content language defines the default language of the page. It can be overridden by the language attribute on any element. One, you do not use this value as it is obsolete. Prefer the lang attribute on the HTML element. Okay, these are for the HTTP equip, and as I said, it's a whole lot. Then let's come to the content. The attribute or this attribute contains the value for the HTTP equip or name attribute depending on which is used. Okay, so we are saying that the content element is used in conjunction with the name attribute or the HTTP equip attribute. We are saying this HTTP equivalent something, and it represents the head. HTTP headers. As I said, HTTP headers is a topic on its own, and we will treat it later on. Okay, but we are saying that the content element is used in combination or in conjunction with this or the name attribute that we will get to in no time. Okay, that's it. So we are saying that the HTTP equip is used on the meta element as an attribute, and it takes the content to give its value. Okay, now when you come here, just after this guy, we have name and we have viewport. Now you may ask, what is viewport? Let's take name for instance. This attribute defines the name of a piece of a document level metadata. I will repeat it again for your understanding, and I will try my best to explain. This attribute defines the name of a piece of document level metadata. It should not be set if one of the attributes item prop or HTTP equip or car set is also set. Okay, it shouldn't be used, or it should not be set if any of these is set. This metadata name is associated with the value contained by the content attribute. The possible values for the name attribute are application name, which defines the name of the application running in the web page. Okay, browsers may use this to identify the application. It is different from the title element, which usually contain the application name, but may also contain information like document name or a status. Okay, so please you take note of this. The name attribute is just used to specify other metadata that cannot be set by cassette and maybe HTTP equip. Now, when we say name, what we will use to specify the data, the type of data, then the content will be the value that we are giving to the data. So, for instance, if we are to liken this to CSS, then the name will be a property and the content will be what? A value. Okay, the name will be a property and the content will be what? A value. So in this case, we are talking about viewport. The viewport, you'll get to know it very soon. You get to know what the viewport is. What the viewport is. Okay, you get to know what the viewport is. Then the content element. Okay, the content element talks about what value we are giving to the viewport over here. It says that weight should be equal to the device weight. In this case, we are saying that the weight, okay, let me explain the viewport, then I'll take it out from there to make our thing very simple for us to buy, okay? Okay, so we are saying that the name here is taking a value of what? Viewport. And the viewport is the user's area of a web page that is being seen, okay? The web page, the area of the web page that is seen by the user is what we call the viewport. The user's visible area of the web page. So it is very, very important. So we use this to set the part or the area of our web page that we want a user to use. And we are saying that this viewport should be equal to the device weight, whichever device. So if the user is using an Android, it should be to the weight of the Android device. If the user is using iPhone or laptop or tabletop or palm top or whatever top that the person is using, then the weight of our web page should be like the weight of that user or that device the user is using. Then the initial scale here is very, very important. Always set this, to always set the viewport and the initial scale. So the moment you bring viewport, the content should contain weight and initial scale. Then the weight is always set to device weight. You can change it according to your needs. Then the initial scale as well, you can change it according to your needs. What is this initial scale? The initial scale sets the zoom level, how to zoom the document. So currently it has been set to 1.0. So if the user loads our website, the zoom is going to be 1.0. The user can choose to enlarge it more or to maintain the size that he or she get access to. Okay. Now after this, we have the title element. The title element, don't forget, is also a child of the what? Head element. The title element contains the title of our document. It contains the title of our document. So in this case, the document we are seeing here is what is going to be displayed in our web browser's title bar. In our web browser's title bar. And in case we put our document on Google, if anybody search for document, then the person is going to get something like this, or it is going to be part of the listed pages on Google or any search engine at all. Okay, the listed pages on Google or any search engine at all is going to be part of the listed pages, and ours is going to fall in the D column, especially the document or specifically document pages. Okay, so that's that. So, and also whenever a user decides to add a web page as a favorite, the title we give here is gonna be the title the user is gonna see in his or her favorite list. Okay, in his or her favorite list. You should know that the meta element has other wonderful uses as well. We can use it to set the name. Okay, name, bam. Then you can use it to set the author of the web page, and it is always important to set the author. Okay, it is always important. It is used for references and other important security purposes. Okay, then you take your content. In this case, the author here is for Rose Consult. Okay, Rose Consult. Sorry, Rose Consult. Okay, what am I writing? Chai. Rose Consult. Okay, so that's fine. So this is the user or the author of this web page. Okay, so you should always try and set the author What are the other uses of the meta element as well? Sorry, the meta element, the other uses are for, take name. Name, then bam. You can use this to describe your document. Description. Describe the document. Why do you need to describe your document? The description helps search engines to locate your page with ease. So if somebody goes to Google, for instance, and types maybe document, what are some of the things that the person needs? Let's say HTML document, and I just gave mine the title document. The description will help the search engine to be able to locate my page or web page or whatever be it. So I can choose to get it HTML. Okay, I can say HTML, I can say CSS, I can say JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript. So if anybody goes online, types JavaScript, HTML, CSS, my document should be part of the listed documents to the person or for the person. Okay, I can also use this to specify keywords. Keywords are also very, very important. Sorry, the description has to be a description for this, so these are supposed to be keywords. Rather, I'm very, very sorry for this. I think I should have. This should be a description of my page. Okay, a description of my page. So let's say iframes. Iframes by Rose Consult, maybe. Yes, Rose Consult. Is that also? Exactly. So that's the description of my page. Then I come here and say keywords. Okay, you should note how I'm using name and content in conjunction. Okay, so name, and I will say what? Keywords. Okay, keywords, that's fine. Then just after that, I will have to get a content, and the content is gonna be the kind of keywords I would want to use. In this case, the ones I typed earlier on. So if somebody goes online, says HTML, CSS, JavaScript or document, the person should be able to get my page with ease. I hope you are getting it. So these are some of the stuff that the head element contains. These are some of the stuff that the head element contains. First of all, we'll just write one or two stuff here and we'll take it out from there. Let me call on the paragraph element and say I am a paragraph. Okay, a paragraph. And then we will notice something here. I am a paragraph. Okay, let me take another one. It says I am a paragraph as well. I am a paragraph. I am paragraph 2, maybe. That one should be okay. Damn it. I am paragraph 2. Okay. That's fine. So let's save our work. Copy the path and display it in our browser, and then we are good to go. I will show you something very soon, don't worry. Oh, chai. Okay, so that's fine. Let me paste it, then we take it out from there. Okay, so this is what we have here. Okay, and you could see we have iframes. That's the title I gave my page. Okay, iframes.atl. I think okay, so the document is the title, rather. This is the title I gave to the file itself. Okay, so the document we are seeing here is the title. That's the power of the title element. In case I'm supposed to add this page to my favorite or something of that sort, it's gonna be part of so you see, add to collections or start a new collection. So that's my favorite. If I do that right now, we're gonna see document in there. Okay, we're gonna see document in there. So this is what this is what I want to show you. Just take a look of this. Then we'll take it out. I want to take the meta element with the viewport, everything off. So let me cut it. Bam. Let me save it. Saved. Let me come back here, refresh my page, and let's notice something. What do you notice? Okay, maybe nothing. You don't actually see anything. Don't worry. When you get that, I was capable of seeing these things. You would understand. Okay, so that's that. So these are some of the stuff that the head element does for us. These are some of the stuff the head element does for us. Then, as I said, we have other elements that can be contained in the head element as well. Other elements, for instance, is the style element. You know what the style element is used for. The style element is used for including what? Style information. Okay, style information. So let's say I want all paragraphs to be in the color blue, right? So I just call on this guy and say color, then also bam, then I say blue, sharp, blue. Okay, so I save my work. So this is what some of the elements we can include in our head element. So we can see this guy has changed to blue. Okay, so that one being said, we can also include the head element. Okay, we can also include what I mentioned earlier on. Okay, so let me put the meta element here. Okay, so we have the title element, we have the base element, we have the link element. The link element is also used to link what? Style sheet, external style sheet. And I hope you know that one already. So the base element, let me tackle the base element and we'll take it out from there. The base element. Okay, so what do you see here? The base element is an empty element. What is the use of this base element? Let's say I have a lot of links on this page, on this web page. Okay, I have a lot of links on this web page. I hope you are getting it. A lot of links on this web page, but they are all in a particular website. The web pages are included in a particular website. So if I direct the user to that web page, that's maybe the home page of that website, the user will be able to access all the links from the web page. I hope you are getting it. Let me take it again. The base element is used to specify a general link or a default link for all other links on the web page. What do I mean? let's say I have a lot of links on this web page, but they all point to a particular website. They all point to what? A particular website, but different pages of that same website. Okay, the use of the base element here is to send the user to the home page of this website I'm talking of, so that the user will be able to do what? To get the web pages from that home page I'll be directing the user to. Okay, so for instance, let's say I search for something on Google and I got the thing over there. Maybe the links I've included in the web page is failing. Then the base element will do me the help. Okay, so in this case I can just say https then this guy comes, then this mark comes, I think www.google.com. okay, so this specifies the general home page for all the links that's on my stuff. Again, that's on it. And you should know that the base element as a normal link should also have what? A target. So you can choose to set the target or leave it empty. That's to your own discretion, but it is always a good thing to set the target. Okay, so the target, and I will choose what? Blank. Is that also? I think so. Blank is a nice option. Blank. I hope you remember target. Okay, so that's what the base element does. That's what the base element does. Let me refresh my browser, and that's that. Why are we not seeing it here? You should know that the base element is located in the head element, and none of the head element stuff is shown here. But in case we want anything, let's say I've set a link I said earlier on, and you are unable to locate a link, you will be redirected to this place ASAP. Okay, you'll be directed to this place ASAP. So that's that. Okay, now we are done with HTML head element. I promised you two topics today, and I don't fail with my promises. I always ensure that my promises are fulfilled. Now for that reason, I'm gonna fulfill this promise as well. The next topic on table is iframes. This is a powerful tool, element, tag, or whatever name that you want to give it. You are good to go. Okay, so what are iframes? What do we use iframes for? Okay, for our normal iframe that we do have for, let's say, your photo frames or that you do have, what do you use them for? You use them to insert or embed a certain thing. So for instance, if you have a photo frame home, you can see that you have a photo inserted in that frame. Okay, you have a picture inserted in that frame. It is the same idea here. The iframe is used to embed or insert a web page into another web page. So I would be able to access two web pages in a single web page. Okay, in a single web page. That's the current web page and the web page that have been embedded. So as I said earlier on, we have different web pages created in our previous lesson. Okay, in our previous lesson. So I will take this guy and copy the path, go to my browser, open a new a new tab, then I will paste this guy, then I will just open it. Okay, so don't you forget, this is what we created earlier on in our earlier lesson. This is intuitive for stable. We just did something out of nothing. Okay, I hope you do remember and you understand how this thing was done perfectly. Okay, so this is one web page. Then let me come to this guy. I don't need you. Get out of here. Okay, so that's fine. We come to my table 2.html. I'll copy that part as well. Go to my browser, and then I'll open a new tab again, and I'll paste it, then open it. So there's another table. Then we have the other table as well. Remember the other table. So let's come to this guy, my table, the original my table. Let me copy the path. So copy path, then let me go to my browser, another page. Okay, then I'll paste this guy, open. That's fine. So there is another wonderful table that we created earlier on. I hope you do remember. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's good. Now we are going to embed one of these pages into the other, and we are going to use the power of iframe. The power of iframes. Okay. So there's our first table. I would want to embed my table 2 here inside of this guy. Okay, so let me come here. I will just call on the iframe element. Okay, iframe, and you can see it down here. The moment I choose, you get the source. The source should be the name of the web page you want to include. Okay, on the web page you would want to include. For this one, they appear to be in the same folder, and therefore I don't need to mention or go to up down. No, I just need the name of the file. So I'll just call on my table 2. Then also my table 2 dot htm, right? And I'll press Ctrl+C. My work is saved. Okay, so I'm embedding it in my table now. So this is my table now. Let me refresh it. Okay, so I'm sure it's gonna be at the top here. So you could see we have this web page. Okay, we have this web page. That's my table 2 embedded straight away in this one. You don't understand? Okay, don't worry. We'll have to set a border for this guy. You see, this is what a frame, and every frame should have what? A height, and let me choose maybe 100. You should know that the height and the width are already in pixels, but if you want to change the unit, you can change that. Okay, but you can still bring it if you want to. For me, I'm a lazy guy and I wouldn't love to bring it, so I'll set the width also to maybe 200, and I'm good to go. Okay, now let's go back, view it again, and you see it better. You have seen it work in some web pages or websites you visit. You have visited before, but you don't know how they got there. Today you have it. Okay, so there's what I mean. You can see I can view this right away in the main man. Okay, in the main man. So that's what we mean by iframes. This is what we mean by iframes. So this website, which is my table 2, has been embedded in my tables, which is this main one. And note, wherever you place the iframe, it is where you are going to have your table. It is where you are going to have your table. Okay, so let's go back. Let's say I want to place my table 3 here. Yeah, the one I need. That's fine. Let's say just after the table here, I'll need iframe. Let's say I want iframe. So just take that and say my table 3.atm, right? Then I'll set the height. Frame border, if you want to set the border, you can use that to set it. Okay, the height, and I will say height. I can use the style to set the height as well. Don't you forget. Maybe 200. Then I will set the width as well. Okay, so that's that. Then the width should be 300. Let me save it. Then continue with my width. Let me refresh it, and we see some magic. Chai! we're having some breaking images. I think my table 3, maybe I didn't write the name well, let me check it. My table, okay, so my table, I made a mistake here. My table, look, you see where my 3 is, the 3 has to come just, I wonder, did I save the work like that? Me or 4 people? Okay, so there's the work I saved. So we will have to get this guy and see, refresh our work. Bam! Still, my gosh. Yeah. I didn't save my work. I did save it too. My table 3 HTM. This is serious. Look at the kind of mistake I made here. Hi! ATM dot another ATM. This is very serious. Of all people, ATM dot ATM. Okay, so now you see, let me see if it comes now. I guess it comes. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Okay, so we are having this guy here, and we are having that guy here. Okay. Oh, we didn't set height. Oh, we did. That's that. So you can set as many web pages as you want in another web page, and that is by using iframes. You can also choose to style the, let me go back here. I don't need this guy, get out of here. Chai. Come on. Already, come on. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. So now my work is saved. I can choose to style my iframe accordingly. So I can come here, style, and say border. I can say border none, okay, and set it to none. Okay, so I don't need any border around my iframe. Sorry, none. I don't need any border. So I just press Ctrl+S, save my work, come and refresh my work over here. I don't need any border. Okay, so that's that. That's that. Don't need any border around my iframe. So you can choose to style it anyhow, anyway. You have to know that the iframe is used to embed one page or one page inside the other, one page inside the other. Okay, so you can choose it. You can choose to use it when the need be. This brings us to the end of this video or lesson. I hope the video was very educative, informative, and you enjoyed it. For more interesting content like this, just comment below and I'll just put it in for you. Okay, if you have any comment, if you have anything to say about this video too, all comments are highly welcome. Just comment below. If you want a one-on-one training on website designing and development, don't forget to hit the bar. Okay, the numbers are down here. I've left the numbers. You can just call and we take it up from there. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Rose Consult is offering website designing and development for all youth, and our main goal is to raise tech giants for the 21st century and centuries ahead. Do have a nice day or night, whatever be it. Let's meet another time. Thank you. Bye bye.